Moving to the next topic, why is US investigating India? What is this investigation under 301 known as? Why is we discussing what is the issue regarding this investigation? 301 is basically nothing but a provision or a section of the US Trade Act of 1974. It is an act that is passed by the legislature of the United States of America, under which they want to safeguard their businesses, that if any business, any practices is being conducted by any country like India, China, Switzerland, any of those countries, they are actually published. 16 countries are under their investigation right now, which are under which they are examining that if they are actually undertaking any practices that may be unreasonable or discriminatory and create burden or restrict the US commerce, impacting US based businesses negatively. If any of these countries are using such practices, then it authorizes the president to launch some tariffs on them, just to nullify the disadvantage that they are giving to the American business owners. This is basically the 301 investigation that is undertaken by USTR. Who is USTR? USTR is basically US Trade Representative that conducts these investigations against these countries. There are two investigations that are currently undergoing. One is involving 16 countries, another is involving 60 countries. In the first investigation, they are basically targeting whether countries like India are using excess manufacturing capacity to export to US in a manner that hurts the American business. That is one investigation. Whether India has expensive, very high capacity to dump products into America, that is what they are looking at. And second investigation is about whether countries have taken sufficient steps to prohibit import of goods produced with forced labor. That whether the goods that are produced in certain countries like China, Vietnam, India, if they are produced with forced labor, if they are violating the labor laws, these countries like India, who are actually exporting goods to USA, they should take steps that these goods are not exported to USA. There should be reduced imports into USA of these goods which are produced by this forced labor, violating labor laws which are prevalent actually in America. This is what their argument is, and this is basically an internal act of the parliament or the legislature of USA itself. It has nothing to do with any WTO norm, any UN norm. Section 301 is basically a US based act. It has nothing to do with any international mechanism, right? But for more value addition about this topic, we see that India and USA, they are large trading partners. In fact, USA is the largest trading partner for India for 4 consecutive years. In terms of only good, we traded around $131 billion of good. If we combine goods and services both, the number crossed actually $200 billion. And as per USA, India has a surplus of around $58 billion with respect to the import that we do from USA. But as per Indian government, the trade surplus is merely $42 billion. Be that as it may, it is still the largest surplus that India has with any country. And that is what precisely is plaguing USA. That is something that they are not liking. That is why they want their USTR to investigate if India is using any other means to use its excessive capacity to dump these products into USA, or whether it is using to manufacture these products by using forced labor or not. That is what they are trying to investigate, and if these investigations are found true, they might even impose more tariffs on countries like India. There are allegations against India that India's global good trade surplus from sectors like textile, health, construction good and automotive goods, or also goods like solar panels, they are produced due to excessive annual capacity. Our annual capacity is 3 times as per the domestic demand. So any goods that we produce, we are bound to export to India, export to other countries like USA. That is the allegation that they are giving. But they don't know the reality that in India we actually face shortage of these goods. Had there been so many solar panels in our country, our renewable energy output would have been shooting through the roof. But then USA being USA would be looking for their own capitalist interest of their businesses, and that is why these investigation against India.